State head coach Vic Schaefer. Coach will get us going with an opening statement, and then we'll take your questions.
Well, good morning. Excited to be here. Quick night, short night, but I'm certainly excited to have an opportunity to play again. Just want to congratulate Southern and South Dakota on great seasons. Amanda has done a tremendous job with Clemson, an incredible turnaround in 1 year. Known her a long time, so much respect. I went and pulled out my old files on Florida from our first 5 years in the league, and you know, she's just doing a great job. Even Simone, even Westbrook was on some in those scouting reports. So you know, you keep files, you keep your homework. You never know when that class is going to pop back up, and so you know, this is I'm big on that. So I know Johnny pulled out some of her old files too, but great team, tremendous skill set. Boy, those guards are playing extremely well for them right now. You know, Westbrook and Edwards had 49 of 75 points for them yesterday, and their leading scorer only had, I think, 1 point, and they scored 75 points. So, man, I'm sitting there, you know, worried myself to death. If she gets her average, they scored 89 points. So we've really got our work cut out for us. They're playing really well. They had a chance to beat Louisville in their tournament, and actually we're up 6 in the fourth quarter. So you know, it should be a great game. We're going to have to play really well, and some of the things they like to do offensively are really hard to deal with. So we're going to have to play well. They've got some veteran guards, and you know what? I got some veteran guards. So this may be a game where guard play is really, really important. They're going to trap us. They're going to do some things defensively to try to bother us. I'm hopeful that my guards will be ready for that, and you know, will handle that. Because if we don't, it'll be a long day.
You saw something similar last year with Lauren Godwin. I think she was a 6-year senior. She had played a lot of basketball, a lot of different schools. Westbrook, she might as well be a pro, and I think she's in her 7th year or something. How difficult is it?
Seems to be a pattern here with the committee, huh?
Yeah,
it's just the veterans.
How difficult is it to prepare for someone that season? That I know you have some players that have played a lot of games too, but for someone that's played 6-7 years, I mean it's got to be difficult.
Absolutely. I mean, there's no substitute for experience, and you know, she certainly got plenty of it. And but you know, you watch film. You know, when you're watching film, you don't put an age on all those kids out there. You talk about their skill set, you talk about what they can do well, what they can't do, you know, maybe some things maybe you feel like you can attack them, and that's what you do. And so I've got four seniors. I'm sure they're looking at them going, hey, they're really good at this, and they may not be so good at this. And so that's what you do in film, that's what you do in a scouting report. And you know, I think for our kids, it's going to be real important to pay attention to detail. We just went through some film. We talked about some tendencies, and you know, I think if we handle the tendencies, the rest takes care of itself. You let the wheels start turning on offense, and it's hard to deal with all that stuff. So, you know, for us, you know, you've covered us a long time, Robbie. If we're doing what we do defensively, we're okay. If we're letting other people run their pretty offense and do things like that, man, we can really struggle.
Steve Robertson with Gene's Page 247. Coach, you're outscored 19-17 in the second period last night, but yet you have the big win. How important is it to have those coachable moments, even when you have a win like that, to get them focused this time of year?
It was 19-18, Steve, and it was a great teachable moment at halftime. You know, I think I told you all last night, I had some unique combinations on the floor, had some young kids out there, and it gave me an opportunity to maybe get their attention at halftime. And so I thought really the first and the third quarter, our starters were really good and played really well. And at the same time, it gave my young kids a chance to get their feet wet in an NCAA tournament game. You know, great crowd. That's not anything they're not used to, but this time of year's got a little more importance to it than others. And you know, I think that we probably had some anxiety out there with a couple kids, and so they were able to work that out. And And so, but yeah, that second quarter gave us a chance to maybe get their attention a little bit at halftime, and I thought third quarter we came out and did the same thing we did in the first.
Clemson, they changed the game in the third quarter. They made South Dakota miss 7 straight shots. I think they started in that half-court trap kind of deal, but then fell back into a 2-3 zone, and they were pretty good in both setups. Just how difficult of a task are they defensively with the different looks they can execute well?
Yeah, I think they've done it all year. They're very I think what impresses me on film is that, man, they're really cohesive. They have great chemistry. I mean, they're doing different things, different passes. At different times. It's not cross half court, boom, we're getting you. It might be a ball reversal and they're getting you, or it might be the first pass to the wing and they're getting you. And so, I think for us, I told Jazz, her and Maya are going to have to really be on point, because that's your pressure release, and that you got some other pressure releases on the floor that are going to have to be ready to go and be ready to get to their spots. But they've done it all year. It's what they're good at. Amanda's done a great job. They're multi-dimensional defensively, and but I tell you, the thing that stands out to me, I told her last night when they came off the floor, they just play hard. I mean, you're looking at a guy that I can appreciate that more than anything anybody does, is just kids that just play hard, and so I'm just super impressed with their team, with their whole mindset. I think they have they just have a presence on the floor, and we're going to have to be able to read and react, and I think that's the big key for us, is reading and reacting. We've seen some of that this year. We've seen some teams that try to do some of those things to you, and so we'll have to. Tomorrow won't be any different.
The last 3 years especially, it just seems like the teams that you have are just really locked in. They don't really come out sluggish to a certain extent, other than maybe last night in the second quarter, but had that big first quarter. It just seems like everyone's kind of locked in and focused in on the job they have to do in that game. Do you attribute a lot of that to the senior leadership you've had each year? You had 4 starters leave last 2 years, and you got 4 more this year. Do you attribute a lot of that to that veteran leadership, and how locked in do you feel like this team is right now after seeing them in that first game?
Yeah, so I think your seniors, they've been obviously in battle many times, and so they know when the lights come on, they kind of know it's amped up and things get going a little bit faster than maybe what might be going in practice. So I do think having 4 seniors on the floor certainly helps you, and it has, over the course of the last 3 years for us, no question about it. We've had some tremendous senior-laden teams, and that's what's going to be so unique about next year's team. We will have no seniors. And so, it's a different perspective, certainly. But, as far as this team, my frustration with them in practice. They've not been a great practicing team. But, I've complained about other teams, about that. So, for them, I think they'll be good today. They were good in film. They'll be locked in, and they understand what's on the line, certainly. Again, we've been in some pretty big games this time of year the last few years, and if we want to continue to be, we better pay attention to a scouting report. We better be ready to go tomorrow night. And your preparation is a big part of that. You just can't diminish the importance of preparing when you're a student athlete, and I think that's the challenge for us as youth. With young people, is that they want to go straight to they want to be president and CEO without working their way up. Well, they want to go straight to the big game and not prepare, and that's hard.
Danny Smith, Charlotte Daily News. Coach, you mentioned the crowd, big crowd obviously for your game, but I was impressed there was a lot of people for that Clemson South Dakota game. Just what is about the people just support women's basketball in Starkville right now?
I went over this morning to the Marriott I hadn't had a chance to visit with South Dakota and their coaching staff since they've been here, and so I went over there before they left, and just wanted to check in and just tell them again, congratulations, but also want to make sure they had a great experience, and they just couldn't say enough nice things about our community, our restaurants. Coach Funchess last night with Southern just complimented us on our restaurants. The bus driver for them said that they had a great experience as well, and that was my. I just wanted to make sure. I felt confident that was going on, but I wanted to make sure, and I think our community is it's the best. I mean, they love women's basketball. They love our team, and I think they love this event, and they've come to really understand the importance of this event, and they appreciate it being here. And so, it just reinforced us more, and it was good to hear from them the experience that they've had. And Coach was telling me, it's not that much different from where they're from in South Dakota, where their university's from, and so it was just I was glad to hear that from them. So certainly appreciative to any of our fans. They just create such an incredible atmosphere for this event, for all the student athletes involved, and I couldn't be prouder.